So what fear stops students from starting a business?
The biggest fear is family pressure. Gen Z is more aware of their emotions. Gen Z is more aware of their surroundings.
आपके लिहाज से क्या लगता है कि do students prefer corporate jobs or startups?
Well, I don't want to demotivate anyone here, but I think we are kind of overselling entrepreneurship.
Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host Hassan and besides me is
Mazmin Jamil.
Today we're discussing entrepreneurship and the role of incubation center. Okay. But before we start, we have our honorable guest, Sir Ismail Nasir, who will share some insights on how entrepreneurship is shaping students today. Sir, before we start, would you like to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you very much for hosting this. I think this is a good step. And I would like to thank your faculty as well for inviting me. My name is Ismail Nasir, and I'm the Business Incubation Manager at Foundation University Business Incubation Center, which is also known as FUBIC in our campus. We deal with startups, incubation, and acceleration. My primary task is to actually train startups and help them in scaling their businesses. So what the process usually is that a student, generally a Foundation University Business Incubation Center is for the students, community, alumni, and faculty. So when the student comes up with their business plan, we actually go through a 3-layer process. And after getting their pitching and getting them in front of a jury who will be selecting those startups, they get selected in our cohort. And we incubate them for a period of 1 year. The first 6 months are a bit training oriented, where we train them on how to set up their business, run their business, company registration, legalities, bank account opening, trademarks, IPs, filing, and other related issues. And then we start training them on the startups, on how to actually scale and grow a startup. So we would start with how to build a good team, that's very important, how to select good co-founders, and then we eventually move to actually the mission, the vision, how to actually do the financial forecasting, which is very important, I believe, marketing, human resource management, etc., etc. So it's a whole 6-month process. And after that's done, the next 6 months, we help them build their businesses. So that's what I'm here for.
My name is Mazmin Jamil, and I will like some questions with you. I will want some answers with you. So the first question is, what is the main purpose of incubation at any university?
Well, like I just mentioned a few moments ago, the main purpose of the Business Incubation Center, of what we're doing here, is to actually motivate students to become entrepreneurs, motivate students to actually think about starting their own businesses, and create this awareness in the entire community of the university of how the business works. Obviously, there are pros and cons of running businesses, but that's our primary aim.
And what types of startups are students target here? Which markets they actually target here?
If we talk about Foundation University Islamabad, we have a general trend towards the marketing domains.
Yes.
So we have a lot of marketing agencies, digital marketing companies who are very successful. We also have a few startups from the media arts who are focusing on the animation and the design side. Other than that, we also have some platform development, website development companies. So generally, it's a mix, but because we have multiple departments here, so we get ideas from multiple domains as well.
And how long a startup stay in incubation over here?
It's a 1-year program. So like I mentioned, the first 6 months is more of a training.
Yes.
So they have to complete their training, and then we help them scale and grow their businesses, get them clientele, help them meet founders, other founders, potential investors, and that really helps them actually scale their business.
Okay. Sir, now we change mindsets. पहले आते हैं इस चीज़ के ऊपर, जैसे क्या होता है Gen Z is rapidly growing, especially in the entrepreneurship department. ठीक है, many students want to start up their own business, but I think that financial discipline plays a very strong role in it. तो आपके लिहाज से क्या लगता है कि do students prefer corporate jobs or startups?
I think, well, I don't want to demotivate anyone here, but I think we are kind of overselling entrepreneurship.
Yes.
That's what I feel. When everyone is now just talking about becoming their own boss. I mean, I would say it's something to do with your personality. It doesn't have to do with what the world tells you to do or what the trend is, right? Some people are born to be business oriented people. Some people are born to create companies, right?
Yes.
They're innovative. Some people they're actually good at helping these founders run these companies, which we call employees. So
Yes.
at the end, if you look around you, at the end of the day, everyone is either working for someone or is
For himself or someone.
yeah,
Some are job oriented and mindset. Some are business oriented mindset.
yes. So it's a personality, I think.
So what fear stops students from starting a business?
If I talk about specifically in foundation, because I've been associated with Foundation University since the past 7 years or so. So I've seen a lot of students. I've also taught here for a couple of years. I think the biggest fear is family pressure, right?
Understandable.
We have to understand our culture, right? If you talk about Pakistan, if you talk about our culture,
Yes.
there's a lot of pressure on the students to get a stable job, make a career out of their lives, and that usually, and a lot of women founders I've felt that feel this pressure more than the male founders because of these family pressures, so they don't really move towards this. Other than that, the fear of failing. There's a lot of stake on the line, right? If you talk about the years that you're going to spend building a startup, I mean, I'm running a startup. It's been 7-8 years I've been in this field. It takes a lot of time,
Right.
and I think
Patience.
patience, and I think the fear of failing, and then there's a financial aspect to it. There's an
Yes.
opportunity cost. If you're working for yourself and you're not making any money, versus you gotta work for somebody else and make some money.
Yes.
So there's a financial offset to that as well, right?
So उस लिहाज से भी है, लेकिन unfortunately we live in a society जहाँ पे हम कुछ भी start करने लगे तो society is like नहीं, ये नहीं करना तुम लोगों ने, या ऐसा like imagine being a 22 years old, don't have a job, और family pressure आपके ऊपर आया है कि भाई, and suddenly you have an idea कि भाई I want to start my own business. And from that I understand कि जैसा करें family pressure होता है, और कोई भी नया आइडिया आएगा तो यूजली टिपिकल घरों में क्या होता है, नहीं इसमें नहीं करना. जॉब का अंडरस्टैंड कि रिस्क टेकिंग आप रिस्क में अपने के ले सकते हैं. एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में ये होता है कि यू हैव टू टेक रिस्क, कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क, बट रिस्क ज़्यादा होता है.
Yes.
तो मेरा अगला सवाल यही था आपसे कि भाई आपके लिहाज से क्या जेन ज़ी इज मोर रिस्क टेकिंग देन प्रीवियस मिलेनियल्स?
I think Gen Z is more aware. Gen Z is more aware of their emotions. Gen Z is more aware of their surroundings because Gen Z has a lot of information.
Yes.
And I really respect Gen Z as well. I feel like if Gen Z at some point feels pressured about anything, they just walk away. They don't care.
Yes.
They're a bit carefree for that matter, and I respect that because they listen to their heart. I'm a millennial, right?
Yes.
So we've always, thought that, before taking any decision, before even replying to someone, what the world would say, what would people think about us. But Gen Z, I respect you guys for that. You guys don't think about it a lot. Which some people take as offensive as well.
Yes.
But I think Gen Z is more risk-taking. I think we're going to see a lot of good entrepreneurs and startup founders here because As millennials, it took us a lot of time to actually develop this, feeling or understanding that we need to, work on and build companies. But you guys, I see now students in 6th, 7th semester running their companies, starting their companies, or working in a hybrid setting for some foreign company in Pakistan, and that's pretty cool, honestly.
Like, we have examples like layers, like Crumble Pakistan here. I think so.
Yeah, so now we see.
It's also Gen Z.
We also see,
Crumble.
yeah, we see college dropouts now, right, in Pakistan, making successful lives and successful careers and businesses. That's good.
So, how important is financial planning for student startup?
I think the most important thing at the beginning is the idea. An idea that is innovative but also doable. You can't just replicate products from a developed country and push them into the developing country.
This should be unique.
Yeah, you see, there's a perfect example of Uber, right?
Yes.
Uber came to Pakistan, Uber exited Pakistan.
Yes.
And then you see InDrive making headlines out of nowhere, right? You see Uber acquired Careem. There was a whole new news about that, and they're doing so successful. And then out of nowhere, Yango and InDrive come, and they find this problem, this pain point of peak hours,
Yes.
and the higher rates. So they gave people the opportunity to actually negotiate the prices. And I think this is an ongoing process. So the innovation keeps going like that.
Like,
So you can't just replicate a product from a developed country and put it in a
Developing country.
Yeah.
development उसके लिहाज से भी है. Most I think usually जैसे हमारी ट्रेडिशनल मार्केटिंग यहाँ पे चल रही होती है, like you said Uber, you said InDrive वगैरह, इससे पहले यहाँ पे टैक्सीज वगैरह चल रही होती है. आई थिंक सो दैट इज अ गुड इनिशिएटिव. अब ये क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम मी, ठीक है, सिंस आई एम अ बीबीए स्टूडेंट, आपको क्या लगता है कि भाई एज अ बीबीए स्टूडेंट कौन सी स्किल्स ऐसी हों जो कि मैं लॉन्च कर सकता हूँ एज अ स्टार्टअप? व्हाट स्किल्स बीबीए?
ये आपने जो सवाल पूछा है, ये एक लफ्ज में इसका जवाब नहीं है ना, एक लाइन में. इसके पीछे पूरी एक आई थिंक एक एफर्ट है. देयर आर मल्टीपल स्किल्स. एज अ फाउंडर यू हैव टू जगल अ लॉट ऑफ बॉल्स.
Yes.
आप ही फाइनेंस देख रहे हैं, आप ही अकाउंटिंग देख रहे हैं, आप ही मार्केटिंग, एचआर, एवरीथिंग. यू आर डूइंग एवरीथिंग. सो इस तरह से मैं कहूँ तो मतलब हर चीज का स्किल होना चाहिए. बट आई थिंक द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट स्किल दैट यू नीड टू डेवलप बिफोर स्टार्टिंग योर कंपनी is to be able to sell your product. If you can sell your product, your company will be fine.
Sick.
And even if you can't sell your product, and if you want to hire people to sell your product for you, that's never going to work.
Okay. और इसके like we have a couple of examples like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs. And
You
Elon
see,
Musk.
all founders are good salesmen.
Yes.
They are able to pitch their products to investors. They're able to pitch their products to clients. The first users, you as a founder, you have to onboard them, not an employee.
Like I remember, I used to be a little kid when iPhone 3G came. इससे पहले एक BlackBerry होता था फोन के लिहाज से, which have touch screen और pad, कीबोर्ड टाइप था. BBM था ऐसा.
BlackBerry services.
Yes.
BlackBerry services
Yeah.
थी. लेकिन उस वक्त लोगों का एक कॉन्सेप्ट ही था कि एक फुल स्क्रीन में भी बगैर उसके बटन्स के भी आ सकते हैं. लेकिन when iPhone obviously launched his phone, तो you can see the market crumble, जिसमें Nokia बायर हो गया, LG बायर हो गया, ये सब बाकी चीजें. Same goes to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
आज से तकरीबन मेरे ख्याल से कोई 13-14 years ago, he bring the concept of electric cars. People were like कि क्या ये ऐसी क्या बातें कर रहे हैं, तो कुछ भी नहीं है ऐसा. लेकिन आज
टेस्ला भी दुनिया मानती है.
Disruptive. Innovation is always initially, not accepted generally by the community. People, there are going to be more people who are going to tell you that it's not going to work rather than the people who are going to support you.
like I think at some point अगर आपने कोई अपनी चीज बेचनी है या सेल आउट करना है अपने, तो there is a word, आपको ढीठ होना पड़ेगा, यानी कि मैंने करनी
Yeah.
चीज, I have to do this or I don't care what everyone is saying.
Yes, if you can't do that, there's the easier part. That's 9 to 5. जाएं, job करें, salary लें.
Sir,
That's very easy.
honestly telling you 9 to 5 अगर हम इधर होते, लेकिन बिलिंग सारे यानी कि आपका सर्वाइवल बहुत ही मुश्किल
इसे पाकिस्तान में नहीं है, पूरी दुनिया में।
है।
9 to 5 में हर बंदा
9 to 5 वाले सिर्फ किचन में नहीं बनाते हैं,
other
इसके अलावा
than the
कुछ भी नहीं
top
बनाते।
executives, the C part of the company. Other than that, I think everyone is just barely meeting their ends.
सर नाउ अब हम आते हैं पाकिस्तान के परफॉर्मिंग एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप जो पाकिस्तान के अंदर फेस सम यूनिक चैलेंजेस और व्हाट आर द बिगेस्ट barriers student entrepreneurship face in Pakistan?
Well, it used to be the lack of opportunities, but now government of Pakistan has invested so heavily into startups and tech. You know, we are rebranding our country as a tech destination, Pakistan.
Yes.
You know, we've seen the Minister for IT focusing so much on it. We have a separate entity called Ignite, which is focusing and helping founders set up their businesses that are funding incubation centers across Pakistan. So I think the government or from the government of Pakistan side, there are going to be much more opportunities coming in the next 5-6 years. The vision that our Honorable Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has shared, Vision 2030, that clearly mentions that they're deeply invested in AI, they're deeply invested in tech startups.
Yes.
We have a lot of expos now going on. There was the AI week 2 weeks
Yes,
ago.
yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Did you see that?
Yes.
So these are. So I think the opportunity is now there.
Okay.
You have multiple incubation centers. HEC in 2019, Higher Education Commission for the first time gave this policy of starting the business incubation centers, that it was mandatory. But at that point, it was under audit. But now in 2023, Higher Education Commission asked the universities to create separate business incubation center entities. So you see, from the policy side, we're good now. It's just about the founders and what kind of ideas we bring to the market. And
My next question was going to be like, is funding the main problem or the mindset? Like you have answered half of the question, like the funding wala. Like, is it about the mindset? Like
the mindset, like I've said, that we've oversold entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial dream. Now it's on everyone's mind. I don't think any one of your class fellow would disagree with this, and I think everyone is now talking about starting an Instagram page or a Shopify store or an e-commerce platform, something, right? So I think that's the mindset is there now. People are now thinking about it, but the funding part, yes. After 2022, the funding in Pakistani startups fell sharply. And because of that, I think we've gone a few steps back. And there's a shortage of
resources.
There's a shortage of angel investors. There's a shortage of VCs. We see very few companies getting funded, and all of those are also required to actually, set up their businesses or companies outside Pakistan for the funds to be transferred, and this whole process is very, I would say, demotivating. So the funding problem is there. But now we're looking, I think you still have the option of going for grants, government funded grants, there are different competitions, notable competitions that help you get the initial seed money. We have the Technology Development Fund, which is in collaboration with the Higher Education Commission, which funds promising startups, and it helps convert research at the university level into minimum viable products.
सर अभी आपने कहा कि आपको ऑलमोस्ट 7 years हो रहे हैं इन दिस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बिजनेस. आपके लिहाज से व्हाट परसेंटेज ऑफ स्टार्टअप फेल इन द फर्स्ट ईयर? लाइक आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या है इस चीज़ के अंदर? आपने ऑब्वियसली 7 years आपने हुए हैं और आपने कोई ना कोई तो
yes, we were lucky हम पहले साल बाद में हुए. So but generally I think generally globally 90% of the startups eventually fail पर अगर हम first year की बात करें तो probably 15-20% startups fail in the first year और 90% eventually close down 5-7-10 years बाद.
जो हमारे अराउंड प्रोडक्ट्स हैं ये भी 2% सक्सेसफुल है, 98% नहीं सक्सेसफुल है, अनसक्सेसफुल
So
है.
it's a tricky business.
Yes.
लेकिन startups and traditional businesses, non-regular businesses, इनमें बड़ा फर्क होता है रिस्क का.
Yes.
Sir, so how can universities like we are in Foundation University Islamabad reduce these challenges?
Okay.
Like what are the opportunities that you get?
Well, first that I'm here, मैं आपके सामने बैठा हूँ, and I would like to invite you guys कि आप लोग हमारे business incubation center में आएं. हमारा next cohort 10, it's gonna open in end of May, and we will be processing the applications in June and July के अंदर हम लोग अपना 10th cohort incubate कर लेंगे. So I would request all of you to apply for that and follow us. Other than that, I think जो entrepreneurial mindset है वो faculty के end से भी I think it's something that comes into the minds of the students. So introducing entrepreneurship related courses in the university, in the degree programs, and all degree programs, which I think they have.
Yes.
I think now all departments have their own entrepreneurship programs. I think वहाँ से एक ground up थोड़ा सा knowledge build होता है. उसके बाद if you wanna go one step further, we're here. And once you do well here in our incubation, we can also put you in acceleration program, and we can also give you the right tools to actually get incubated in a national incubation center like NIC Islamabad, like NASDAQ. These government funded acceleration programs and incubation programs, they actually help founders scale their business globally.
क्योंकि यहाँ पे majority जो है they're like entrepreneurship is another thing, and we can say like incubation center. बहुत से लोग हैं उनको इस चीज का पता नहीं कि what is the purpose of an incubation center. Like I understand entrepreneurship is an idea, and I think incubation is turning that idea to a reality in business world.
Exactly.
Sir, has incubation center produced successful startups over here?
Yes, and we are currently running our 9th cohort. So we were founded in 2019. Since then, we have incubated and graduated 42 startups.
That's nice.
And mashallah, they're all working at some place. Some are global. Some founders have moved out of the country to other countries, but they're still pursuing the startups. Again, this is the beauty of tech, right? If you're able to set up a startup, you can work from anywhere around the world. You don't have to just sit in an office every day. So, or in a specific country. That's the beauty of, I think, the tech startup. So you have the ability to go global, and they have. So we have great alumni who've done wonders here. Yeah.
And sir, how does incubation center measure success of a startup?
Well, if you talk about the technicalities, we have a set of KPIs, key performance indicators.
Yes.
We have monthly metrics that we share with our founders, which they have to fill it up and share it back with us. We're looking at their revenue. We're looking at the number of clients they've onboarded, the number of human resource they've hired, the number of internships they've offered, the funding that they've secured, any other collaborations, any competitions that they've won, So there are multiple factors.
Okay. And what common traits do successful founders share?
I'm sorry?
What common traits do successful founders share?
Resilience. Like he said, thick skin.
Yes.
Not giving up, right? I think that's the most important.
Financial discipline, resilience.
Financial discipline, being able to, because at the start you're very, you're bootstrapped. You don't have a lot of money. And before, when you're pre-funded, it's very difficult to actually look after yourself and also your startup. So I think financial knowledge and how to use the limited financial resources that you have. This is also what investors look into you in you as well when they're investing in you. That how good are you at managing money? So I think that not giving up, being good at sales, being good at pitching, and be good at networking. Networking opens a lot of doors for you.
Sir, does co-workers play an important role?
Sorry?
Co-workers play an important role कि आपके you're starting your own business, but you have co-workers.
Co-founders.
Co-founders, sorry.
Yeah.
Co-founders.
Yes, I think that is very, very important. I think selecting the right co-founder for your startup, it's a partnership. And like any partnership, I think you get to spend a lot of time with that person, and you also have to make a lot of decisions together. And if you're not on the same page, And if you don't share the same vision or mission, I think you won't be able to go that far together. I see a lot of good startups fail because of co-founders. Co-founders leave companies, and then you're alone, and then you are not able to find another co-founder, and then you eventually give up because you can't do everything on your own.
They both have different mindset.
Yeah, so selecting a co-founder who is sharing the same vision and mission, and who is also equally resilient. You know,
Yes.
people would be like, "No, I can't do this. I'm going for my master's abroad. I'm going for my PhD abroad. I can't waste my time. I'm wasting my time." You know, so that sort of mentality is not good.
सर एज यू कंक्लूड कोई फाइनल मैसेज आप देना चाहेंगे फाउंडेशन यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए यहाँ पे?
Yes, I think I would like to say that every student, because of this beautiful thing called internet, or every person now has a chance to play a part in and share their innovation with the world. So I think if any student, any person has some ideas, I think you guys should definitely come up, share your ideas, share them with me, share them with maybe some other incubation centers if you want, if you're not a student of foundation. But I think there's a huge market, and now because of AI, it is going to be amazing. I was listening to this person the other day, and he said a very interesting thing, and he said that AI right now is just like the invention of the refrigerator. Right? So with the first time when it was invented, everyone was like, wow, you know, yeah, they made money, right? The inventor maybe made money,
Yes.
maybe royalties or license fees or whatever. But the people who made more money from refrigeration was companies such as Coca-Cola, Pepsi,
7 Up.
who actually used those in their advantage. So right now we're at the crossing of AI and business acumen. So the person who is able to actually take advantage of this, they're going to make the most out of it.
And how AI is dangerous for our society.
सुनने में तो बड़ा आता है कि ये बहुत डेंजरस जॉब्स आपकी ले रहा है ये.
I think जो redundant jobs हैं, it's something that is to be done every day. Probably, आपकी जैसे ये production की lines हैं,
Yes.
assembly lines हैं, something, a task that is repeatedly done every day, which has no innovation. Those will be replaced. Bank tellers, cashiers, automate हो सकती हैं जो jobs. Call centers, stuff like that. But AI is not going to hurt anyone where I think empathy plays an important role, where human emotions play an important role, because AI is just collecting the available data and sharing it with you. The creativity can never be found in AI.
Yes.
So that is the human touch, the creativity. I think so. Some jobs are at stake, but those people, if they upgrade their skills, they would be safe.
Like पहले यहाँ पे होता था कि डिग्री कर लो जॉब मिल जाएगी आपको, लेकिन आज के लिए होता है कि भाई नहीं, skills matter. Skills matter. Alhamdulillah, शुक्र है कि we're not thinking about skills, because I think degree just gets you to the first interview, but it doesn't help you climb the ladder, even in the corporate, and definitely not in the startup world. So you need to be constantly upgrading yourself every 6 months, every day, every year, getting new skills, acquainted, or building upon your existing skills to another advanced stage, because I think that is going to help you a lot. Well, thank you, sir, for sharing your insights, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Stay motivated, stay innovative, and we'll see you in the next episode. Allah
Thank you.
Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.